All right, I think I've seen one or two of this guy's videos before. He's not like he's not like a Nazi or anything. I don't think. I'm pretty sure. I think he's like a just sort of a reactionary type. But this is at Upper Echelon Gamers, and he uploaded a video about some of the current events going on right now in the social media sphere, called "The Social Media Ban Tidal Wave: Control Itself Spirals Out of Control." So, let's get right into it. Let's see how the SJW media is censoring based, red-pilled, innocent conservatives off of their platforms. Let's see what's going on here.
Okay, so today is going to be a somewhat different format because I deliberately waited all weekend while researching and tracking social media in order to cover what I thought would be an emerging story. But apparently that isn't quite the case. The subject...
Hey guys, you gonna like this gaming footage in the background? Ooh. It's a good, I used to want to do something like this. Like gameplay with me talking in the background. Actually, one of my very first videos, my first RedTube-ish video, my one about Notch being crazy and like a transphobe, had Apex Legends gameplay in the foreground. That was what I used to, that's what I used to sort of present my content. And I enjoyed it. It was good content to make, but then I got burned out, and Vosh told me I should try streaming, so that's what I did. But it's a bit of a throwback, you know? It's a bit of a throwback.
Was Dr. Disrespect, who was banned without any explanation, sparking one of the greatest conspiracy theory festivals that Twitch has ever seen.
Okay. Hold on. Dr. Disrespect's ban from Twitch, and Stefan Molyneux's ban, and the Donald ban, and Gender Critical's ban are not related. I'm pretty sure Dr. Disrespect's ban is probably because of something legitimately extremely serious. There are people on Twitter and shit that are in the industry that know why Doc was banned that can't say anything about it. They're like, yeah, I know, but like, it's best not to say because the sensitivity of the topics on hand, and because there's something legal going on behind the scenes. Dr. Disrespect, I believe, had just signed a 5-year exclusivity contract, a multi-million-dollar exclusivity contract with Twitch days before he got banned. Something happened, something serious came out about Doc, and went straight to Twitch, and Twitch banned him. Not to mention, at the end of his stream, the last, like, 10 minutes of his stream, he was acting super weird. He looked at his phone and started, like, freaking out, and at the end, like, it was crazy. I promise you, Dr. Disrespect wasn't banned for being, like, a white man, or for being, like, a based, red-pilled, anti-SJW conservative type. I promise you, something crazy happened behind the scenes. We don't know yet. And we'll see, but it's something serious, okay?
When there is more clarity on this topic, I will absolutely cover it. I wanted to do a video about the saga of Dr. Disrespect from start to finish, or something like that, but since it seems apparent today is not the day, I will wrap some portions of that story up into a wider analysis of bans and deplatforming, which is happening all across the internet right now, from Twitch to YouTube and beyond. Obviously, the first point...
Maybe you guys should stop breaking TOS. Seriously. Maybe you should stop. That's simple. It's not that hard.
To make is that Dr. Disrespect was indeed permanently suspended by Twitch as a platform. Twitch refunded his current subscribers.
Yep.
Discord revoked.
That's how you know it's serious. Twitch has never done that before. To my knowledge, like, a lot of big, like, long-time streamers, that was what stood out to them the most. The fact that Twitch refunded all of his subscribers that month's sub. That is serious. Twitch has never done something like that before. That's a big deal. That is unheard of for Twitch. That was one of the biggest giveaways that whatever happened with the doc behind the scenes, he's like, it's bad. He did something bad.
His partnership.
He also lost his Discord partnership, which means Discord knows as well and decided to separate from him as well. Whatever he did would, like, just him being allowed on their platform would make them look so bad that for the sake of their own business prospects, they had to drop the ban. Even fucking Discord revoked his partnership because of what we don't know. He did something. All I'm saying is, listen, I'm not saying that maybe they could be overreacting. Maybe it's an overreaction. I don't know. Nobody knows why he was banned yet, except for a few select people. But it's looking like whatever Dr. Disrespect did probably warranted the punishment that he got. Because this seems serious.
On top of that, and even certain sponsors took down his name and his branding from their websites, only to put that material back up the following day, which has led to rampant speculation on why all of this has happened. It really is an interesting chain of events, from the eerie final moments of his last broadcast to theories about corporate espionage and competing platforms aiming to dethrone Twitch itself as the dominant presence in the streaming industry.
What?
However, all of that is best suited for a dedicated video by itself, of which there are many.
Why?
And I don't need to do my own analysis.
Why? Why are these people so conspiratorial? He just got banned from Twitch. It happens. Oh yeah, you guys remember when Vosh got banned from Twitch for making reasonable, well-thought-out critiques of the state of Israel, and now he's not allowed to ever be on Twitch again? You guys remember when he did that? I guess there's like an anti-leftist conspiracy. The Twitch admins and moderators, the people who make all the decisions behind Twitch, are all a bunch of, like, they're Nazis, actually. They're Nazis because they banned Vosh. That's the only explanation. There's gotta be some kind of conspiracy going on. It's the only way. Why else did they ban him for reasonable, well-thought-out critiques of the state of Israel?
Until we actually know the truth. But within the complex spiderweb of confusion, there is a...
By the way, I completely disavow anything that Vosh has said about the state of Israel. I'm joking, and he deserved getting banned. Thank you, Twitch. Don't ban me.
Key moment I want to focus on. Following his initial suspension/termination, Dr. Disrespect, and keep in mind this is a creator who has a multi-year, multi-million-dollar exclusivity contract with Twitch itself, signed not too long ago.
He did something bad! Also, we're at 775 viewers. If we hit 800 today, I will take off my shirt in-game. Not really, but still. Yeah, that means he did something bad. Do you really think Twitch would give up, like, such a good business prospect over fucking nothing? Over some, like, SJW agenda? I assume that's what he's getting at. This guy's, like, a pretty, like, run-of-the-mill anti-SJW type. You really think that Twitch would give up that much money? That, like, one of the largest streamers on their platform, just ban them for no reason? Over nothing? No. No.
But following his initial ban, Dr. Disrespect finally made a statement after speculation had kicked into complete overdrive.
Yeah, I've seen this. This is totally lying. Champions Club. Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all of the support during this difficult time. Dr. Disrespect. This isn't a sincere tweet. This was made because what I'm going to assume... Listen, maybe it's a bit of speculation on my end. Maybe it's inappropriate. What this looks like to me is a lawyer was like, yeah, you want to keep your mouth shut about anything going on right now. Don't say anything. Because assuming whatever he did was illegal, which it's looking like it will be based on how Twitch has responded, don't say anything. Make a statement to calm down the masses, so people aren't speculating about shit anymore, and you know, people's perception of you isn't tainted too much. But make it quick, make it to the point, and it looks like it's heavily tailored by someone not to give anything away, but not to completely absolve anything either. I don't believe this. Literally, in the last few minutes of Dr. Disrespect's stream, when he checked his phone, he like reacted like, and like stood there silent for a minute, and then said, "We're gonna get through this, Champions Club." And then sat there silently watching a Roblox video for like 5 minutes. Like, he knows why he got banned. He knows why he got banned. He's gotta know. Unless maybe it was a text from his partner manager saying, "Oh, you're just perma-banned, don't know why yet." Something like that. That would be understandable. But he would have made a statement by now if that was the case. Or before this. So, yeah, it's something serious.
That he did not in fact have any idea why he was banned at all. The strange thing is that a bunch of other streamers and industry insiders claim to have full knowledge, but conveniently won't say anything until others do, which puts them in a position of false credibility, because
to be fair, there are probably a lot of people lying, saying, "Oh yeah, I know why Doc was banned, I just can't say." I'll give you that. There are probably a lot of people that are doing that for attention, like, oh, I know, but don't expect me to tell you, to like boost their viewership and whatnot. Which, you know, by the way, I know why Doc was banned, but I can't tell you guys. You guys will have to get me to 1,000 viewers before I do that. Yeah, no, so there's definitely people out there lying about it, but there are people who are pretty damn well respected within this community that generally have the inside scoop on things, and they and they don't really have anything to gain from doing the whole, oh, I know why Doc was banned, but I can't say thing. Like, they have nothing to gain from it. For example, Slasher. You probably know of me. He's probably going to come up in this video. Slasher has said he knows why Doc was banned, but he cannot say due to the sensitivity of the issue, and alluding to, like, legal repercussions for doing so. So, yeah. It's a complicated situation. Can we get into the politics shit, please? Can we? Can we, please?
Because when the news finally does break...
Also, we just hit 800 viewers. This is my record highest viewership stream I've ever had. Very fucking poggers. Thank you guys so much. That's the epic gamer moment.
All they have to do is claim, yup, I knew, but I couldn't say because I'm so moral and ethical. I do believe that a select few of these individuals might know, but it is highly unlikely, downright impossible, honestly, for most of them to have any idea, because a secret from Twitch, locked down, and successfully, I might add, to such an extreme, is quite obviously something that would not be percolating the lower tiers of streaming personalities, else it would be common knowledge by now.
Okay.
The important part, zeroing in on the simple phrase that has been sadly overlooked by so many people thus far, is from Dr. Disrespect stating, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. That's alarming, more so than the ban itself.
Is he unironically saying that Twitch is just... Is he going to allude that Twitch is just banning people whenever they feel like it for no reason now? Is that what he's going to do here? Oh my god, he's actually gonna do it. He's gonna make up a conspiracy about how it's like the SJW agenda, or the social media woke agenda or some shit.
Even. That's unbelievably scary, because if he is telling the truth, and to be clear, that's a big if.
That's a big if. That's a big if. Such a big if that I don't even feel comfortable entertaining the idea that he's telling the truth, because there's no way. There's no way. There's no way he doesn't know.
Right there. The structure of Twitch bans make it so that the streamer can simply say whatever they want about the issue, and Twitch themselves almost never speak publicly at all, letting one side of the narrative effectively control public perception entirely. But taking that at face value, it means that a company with exclusivity payments directly to a multi-million follower channel terminated that relationship without warning and is not even telling the streamer why. This matters for 100 separate...
Which is not what happened. There is no reason to suspect that this is actually what happened. Not from a business perspective, not from an optics perspective, not from like a community perspective. There's no way that's what happened. There is very good reason. This is basically the consensus in the Twitch community at the moment, that there's a damn good reason why Twitch and Doc have been so tight-lipped about why Doc has been banned. This isn't like some like, oh, shady, shadowy, like agenda against white men, I guess? I don't know. Like, what is he getting at here?
Separate reasons, but the largest among them is reasonable safety. Obviously, at this point, we don't know the motivations behind the ban, unless it's posted literally as I type this, but relatively speaking, with regards to my main point, it wouldn't really change anything, so not a big deal. The speculation is that...
The reason why he was banned absolutely changes everything. Absolutely.
That it must be some sort of legal case, asserted by a fellow streamer with plausible insider access in terms of relationships with Twitch executives. The decision was given to Trust and Safety by an outside department. You
see how he whiffed that fucking RPG shot to that helicopter right there? You see how he whiffed that shit? Can we kick W with that? That was a tough scene right there. He whiffed the shit out of that RPG shot at that helicopter.
Insinuating that the legal team said, it's over, now you ban him.
Watch him do it again.
Still, reducing this down to the most fundamental points,
one of
the largest streamers on the entire platform with an active exclusivity contract worth millions of dollars got permanently banned, claims to have no idea why, while others...
He's just repeating himself. Get to the point. I'm turning it up. I'm turning up the speed. We're going super fast. Actually, we'll go like 125, just a little faster.
Apparently know outside of the actual legal department at Twitch. And if this is taken at face value,
Zoom.
how in the world can anyone on that entire platform have any faith in their own safety? If Twitch will terminate one of the largest and most powerful broadcasters on the internet, quite literally, with an active, personal, contractual, and financial relationship to and with them, how in the world can anyone else have any reasonable faith in their own job or platform security?
This has been like rule one of having a job on the internet since day one. It could end at any second. Everybody knows this. Everybody with even somewhat of a platform knows that you are constantly, like, I get scared of this every day. I get scared that one day I'll wake up and I'll stream and I'll get 5 viewers. Everyone will have just forgotten about me. My videos will stop getting any views. My channel will stop gaining subs. My streams will stop getting viewers, although it's definitely not today, because I just hit my record of 800. Like, everybody who is on the internet, that has a job on the internet, is constantly at the whims of the platforms that they are on. When you sign up for a platform, when you make an account on there, and you dedicate your job to it, when it is your job to make content on this platform, you sign the TOS. You sign an agreement to their terms of service. And if you break that terms of service, you're done. You're gone. You're out the window. Gone forever. Never to be seen again if you break that TOS. And it's totally up to them. It is their decision. Now, I don't even know why we're entertaining the idea that he was banned for no reason. Like, I don't even know... why are we even, like, talking about that? That's definitely not what happened. I feel like he's gonna feel pretty stupid when and if we find out what he was banned for, because it's got to be something serious. He had to have done something bad, and it's not going to be a good look for this dude if he was defending Doc before any of the news came out.
That, however, is just the start. This also comes in a time period where many creators are being deplatformed, and the atmosphere is becoming more and more curious surrounding all of it. Perhaps the most high-profile suspension in history is United States President Donald Trump, whose campaign was suspended from Twitch for hateful conduct.
Yep, yeah, fucking, yeah. Yeah, no, Donald Trump is a pretty hateful person, you know? He said, didn't he the other day post a video of a guy yelling white power with a Trump sticker on his car on Twitter? Did that not happen? No, that happened, yeah. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, no, this is fine. Twitch TOS, he broke TOS. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay, Gucci.
Which involved the deletion of 2 rally streams, one from as far back as 2016. The context here is not fully clear, but factoring in the reality that certain groups have claimed that Donald Trump is a racist, xenophobic, bigoted individual, a whole bunch of different things for many years.
Pepe.
And advocated during that time that he be deplatformed, why is this decision only coming down now? This is, again, just the start. Twitch has also been...
Well, because Trump has gone more mask off than ever. I mean, like, he's realized that his chances of getting reelected are pretty damn low. He's actively gone... Him and his administration literally went to the Supreme Court and asked if there was a way that they could limit the rights of LGBT people. Just, like, straight up asked, can we make it so LGBT people can't, like, adopt children and stuff like that? Like, asked if there was some way they could use a loophole to do that. Like, he's gone mask off with his bigotry lately. So yeah, no, I'd say he could get banned for hate speech. You can get banned from Twitch for stuff you don't do on platform. Do you guys know that? No, this is actually the case. In case he tries to bring this up, when you sign a, when you accept Twitch's TOS to stream to the platform, especially if you become a partnered streamer, you sign off on an agreement that says you can be banned for actions and conduct outside of Twitch's platform, even when you're not streaming or even when you're not on Twitch. There was a streamer that got banned because they typed the N-word out in their Discord server, and the logs got leaked, and that streamer got banned. You can get banned for that. So I'd assume the actions of Trump, he is the president, he is trying to pass laws and legislation. If the laws and legislation that he tried to pass are overtly homophobic and transphobic and racist and xenophobic, yada yada yada, then yeah, Twitch is within their right to ban him from the platform. Him or his media team will have signed off on that agreement when they made their accounts, when they got the partner, I assume Trump would be a Twitch partner, right? When they got the partnership, broke the TOS, got banned. It's that simple.
Been reckoning over the past week or so with a deluge of sexual assault allegations, and their response was a commitment to investigate and ban based on those claims, with law enforcement referrals when necessary, which is, if done right, to be fair, an excellent approach. We have already seen the effects of this, and a streamer named Loco, as well as another by the name Slasher, seem to have chronicled a few of the bans that coincide with allegations as documented by a long and growing spreadsheet that emerged some time ago. I am Spoon, bless.
Wait, I think, didn't Destiny put this together? Is this Destiny's spreadsheet that he made? It looks really similar to the one that Destiny made. I may be wrong. This may not be the one Destiny made. I think the one that Destiny made was actually like, no, this wouldn't have been Destiny's spreadsheet, because the one that Destiny made during the rape review thing was a like went over the allegation and then typed out like what the allegation was and like who made the allegation and everything. It's a pretty good stream. Too bad LSF banned him from, you know, having any clips of him posted there, because LSF, Livestream Fails, is the pro rape subreddit. LSF approves of rape. Just thought I'd point that out. Livestream Fails, that subreddit, approves of rape. They love rape.
SRNG, Warwitch TV, Dreaded Cone, Wolf21, and at this stage, undoubtedly many more, have been banned as a result of these proceedings. And as far as I can tell, there is an element of confession behind a few of these, at least two, I think, which makes it fairly self-explanatory as to why they were permanently suspended. But in a case where the perpetrator or accused legitimately does not know, or has not somehow publicly confessed to certain allegations, the lack of clarity in response to the question, why was I banned, or why were they banned, is frankly unacceptable.
Wait, is he still going off on the... Dude, Doc knows why he got banned. Anybody who's seen the... Okay, anybody who knows anything about Twitch, and anybody who's seen the last 10 minutes of his last live stream, knows that he knows he got banned. Why he got banned. He knows. Why are we entertaining this? Why are you making an 18-minute long video off the assumption that is absolutely not true, under any circumstance, that Doc doesn't know why he got banned? And the possibility that he just got banned for no reason. And oh, we all have to walk in eggshells now. What are you talking about, dude?
All that said, it really is still just the start, because the lack of clarity extends all the way to internal circumstances as well. Hassan Bokhari, a well-known Twitch staff member, has been publicly accused of inappropriate conduct, which will be rightly referred to as allegations until proven. But this accusation has been met with absolute silence from both him and Twitch, despite containing truly troubling material. Some Ordinary Gamers did an excellent video diving deeper into this topic.
Some Ordinary Gamers is also reactionary, and I'll be covering him on stream one day. Yeah, I mean, this is probably bad. Yeah, no, if there's like an accusation made towards somebody working at Twitch and him and Twitch have been able to ignore it and it hasn't gotten any, like, acknowledgement, that's probably a pretty bad thing. Yeah, fucking no shit. How many allegations do you think have come out against streamers and people in this industry that haven't been acknowledged because the person who made the allegation doesn't have the platform to get it recognized? There's a reason that, like, Yvonne and Lily Pichu's accusation against Fedmeister is big fucking news, and everyone knows about it, but this one probably doesn't. Because if the general public doesn't care about these people, there's no reason for Twitch to acknowledge it, because they aren't going to get any backlash. The reason why Twitch bans people or bans streamers for actions they have outside of the platform is so it doesn't reflect badly on them. If there is no outlash against them, or backlash against them, then they aren't going to ban the streamer or the employee. If there's nothing they're going to lose by keeping them on the team, if nobody gives a fuck. Maybe they do now, maybe you've signal boosted enough that they will, and that's what I prefer. I hope so, if it's true. But yeah, that would be my explanation.
In much the same way, I believe most people, or many people at least, have overlooked the important claim of Dr. Disrespect that he does not have clarity from Twitch on their decision, at least not yet.
He's actually, like, just going with the assumption that Doc is telling the truth with that, huh? He really is. Why would Doc stay silent for 3 days? 3 days. Not a single tweet, not a single Instagram post, nothing. Silent, dead silent, radio silence for 3 days before he made that tweet saying he doesn't know why he was banned. Type 1 if you think Doc probably knows why he was banned. Type 1 if you think he probably knows why. Yeah, I think I think that's an overwhelming consensus.
Some ordinary gamers outlined an important line from the allegations against Hassan, in which it is alleged that he used a partner intake form to acquire a girl's private phone number to then text her. On top of this, there are lengthy claims about how he would share revenue contracts, dashboard analytics, work emails, ban decisions, and even company secrets, though there is little in the way of evidence to define what that part actually means. This, if true, is catastrophic. The sexual and emotional claims are far more subjective, ill-defined, and honestly hard to analyze because in one breath there are claims that she would text him things like, I can't wait to kiss you, I love kissing you, I can't wait for, or to do various explicit things, but in the other there are accusations that his behavior was unacceptable and unwanted. It's not my place to delve deeper into that side of things, really, it just isn't, but the important...
Okay, consent lesson here. I need to teach you all a very important lesson, okay? Just because anybody, could be a girl, could be, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the gender of the person that you're talking to is. Just because somebody one moment may seem super into you, super down to engage in some sort of sexual behavior, 10 minutes later, they could have changed their mind. Consent can be withdrawn at any time. You're completely right, Ace Flighty. Was that Ace Flighty? Or no, that was Nethus? Nethus. Consent can be withdrawn at any time. So just because she said, oh, I want to do all these explicit things with you, doesn't mean she changed her mind. She didn't change her mind later and wasn't into it when he insisted on doing something. Just thought I'd point that out. Just a little consent lesson for my lovely fans in chat. Just thought I'd point that out. Also, 856 viewers? Why is my viewer count going up so much? Was I hosted? Was I shouted out? Is it just like, is today just a good day? Are you guys just excited for me to watch Upper Echelon Gamers or something? Did Vosh, like, host my stream? No, he hasn't hosted my stream. We came from Vosh? Wait, what? Atheism is Unstoppable just got banned? No way! No way! Please, please. Oh my god. No shit. No shit. Oh, the wins! We just can't stop winning! Oh my god! Holy shit! Mr. YouTube, I don't feel so good. I just wanted to post Nazi propaganda on YouTube and get away with it for millions of people to see. What did I do wrong? Oh my god. I'm so happy because Atheism is Unstoppable was like one of the most mask-off Nazi types on YouTube. And he would literally he posted his avatar was wearing like a black shirt that said execute the Central Park 5. Like, yeah, no, yeah, okay. Yeah. Oof. You know what? Right in the middle of the stream, we get this guy proves his point perfectly. YouTube proved his point because they banned Atheism as Unstoppable for just being a normal, run-of-the-mill, harmless conservative creator.
Important point to highlight is that as of the making of this video, no visible action has been taken by Twitter.
Also, I'm taking 100% responsibility for Atheism is Unstoppable for getting banned. Only like an hour ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, I did my little segment saying report Nazis when they go mask off on these platforms, and then now he's been banned, so I'm taking credit for it. Now, I'm not saying it's because of me. All I'm saying is I'm taking credit for it because it was 100% me that did it, and bow. Praise me. Praise me. I'm not seeing enough praise in the chat. Okay.
Which, with regards to this particular case, where other cases, seemingly less severe in nature, have had drastic, often unclearly defined or flat-out mysterious in nature, actions taken on behalf of or against them, and this inconsistency is reaching critical mass. On the one hand, Twitch promotes a controversial figure who expresses a sentiment such as, I have...
No. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Here we go. Hit me with it.
Have power and you can't take it away from me. People should...
The context of that quote of the ferociously Steph girl, aka Deer Girl, saying, I have power and you can't take it away from me. She was literally talking to Nazis, like actual racists and Nazis in her chat that were saying like the N-word. And were like calling her like a transphobic shit. And being like openly bigots. She said, I have power, you guys can't take it away from me. Because they were mauling at her because she's on the Twitch safety whatever fuck staff council. She hasn't done anything wrong. You guys are just triggered about it because she's trans and kind of cringy because, like, you know, the Dear Girl shit. I'll admit, it's kind of cringe. It is kind of cringe. But she's done nothing bad. She's done nothing wrong. She's not a bad person. You guys are just super triggered over her. It's hilarious, but, you know, also kind of pathetic.
Should be afraid of me. And Twitch promotes that person to...
Yeah, she said, you should be afraid of me to Nazis and white supremacists. White supremacists in her chat.
Position of power, a trust and safety council of all things, ironically, while on the other, they take exorbitant and swift action against some cases, while seemingly turning a blind eye to more severe and pressing infractions within their own corporate structure. They have a high-ranking staff member who allegedly utilized his position in a host of inappropriate ways, not just one, but their focus is turned towards banning the president for comments that he made 4 years ago. I can understand it's a...
I'm pretty sure... Wait. It wasn't for comments he made 4 years ago because he got banned and a bunch of his VODs got deleted. From 4 years ago. They decide to ban him now because of his current actions. You literally sign the TOS. You agree to their TOS when you make an account that says you can be banned for off-platform behavior. That's why Trump was banned.
Support their decision to evenly enforce their terms of service, even when it applies to the president or large, highly profitable broadcasters on their platform. But consistency is the last thing that can ever be said about Twitch. But here comes the most interesting part. None of this...
I'll give them that. Twitch is usually pretty inconsistent with their bans. Seems like they're getting better at it now, but they can be pretty inconsistent with their bans. But it's because Twitch is run by people. There aren't really a lot of bots on Twitch that are making the decisions on who gets banned and who doesn't. They've got an actual massive staff team of real people that make the decisions there. Now, YouTube has bots. Very rare is it when a channel gets passed over to an actual person who decides when a ban happens. That's why bans don't happen as frequently on YouTube, except for apparently now. Yeah, no, that's the reason. Twitch has actual people making the decisions.
This is confined to just Twitch right now. Reddit has just now banned over 2,000 communities.
The Donald is gone, Chapo Trap House is gone, and of course, Gender Critical is gone. And most of these communities have been fucking quarantined for a long time for frequently breaking Reddit's TOS. You get a warning. As if your community is extremely toxic and terrible, your community will get quarantined by Reddit. They'll be like, you've got a chance. We're not going to ban you, but you're going to be quarantined. And they still continued to do their shit while they were quarantined, and they all got banned. They were skating on thin ice for a long-ass time, buddy.
These communities are not necessarily politically homogenous either, but they do seem to trend towards the conservative...
Literally one of the largest ones is like a radical leftist anti-capitalist subreddit. But, yeah. Hate crime hoaxes. Graper movement. Overwhelmingly white. Friend requests. We was kings. The new right. Nationalism. Right-wing comics. The Donald. Dark humor and memes. The honk pill. White beauty. Alt United Kingdom. Fascism forever. I can see the top of one called Fascism Forever. Ah, yes, these poor innocent subreddits were banned for no reason. Ah, God, those absolute monsters at Reddit who banned these subreddits, huh?
Conservative end of the spectrum. That being said, there are examples from the opposite side as
Fascism forever.
well contained in that giant, enormous list. And the motivation for this massive purge is a crackdown on hate speech, which overhauled the company's policy with regards to what content it will now police. Here's where we all need some intellectual fortitude, I like to call it.
r/Holdemer! I saw one called it might have been Holocaust, but I'm pretty sure it was Holdemer. r/Lord Keck, r/Red-pilled Muslims, the Gray Pill, ban Big Mouth. Okay, honestly, you know, I respect this one. Ban Big, yeah, I can stand behind that one. That one's kind of unfortunate. The Cabal, Neo-egalism, what the fuck? Far right-wing LGBT. Our Big Chungus. Oh, that's sad. There it is. Gender critical. You love to see it gone.
Because it may seem easy to say, well, that's just hate speech, only racists would want that around, so it's good it's all getting purged. And sure, that's a valid train of thought that holds up for all of 2 milliseconds, till you realize that isn't actually true. It is not all hate speech.
We literally just went through the list there. Like 90% of those I recognize right off the top of my bat as being right off the top of my head, as being Nazi subreddits. Overwhelmingly, they were Nazi subreddits.
Speech, and this is a reactionary maneuver to pacify a movement that does not even know what it actually wants. The current activist movement, not just in the United States either, but in many other countries around the globe, has lost all reason and consistency, much like Twitch. For example, what started as an endeavor to tear down Confederate monuments, something that can be explained and justified, with an effort to transition.
You know? I'm surprised. I am pleasantly surprised by that statement. Based. But let's see where he's going to go with it.
These to a purely historical context, like museums, for example. That's not what happened, though. They just want to tear them down and destroy them, not rightly place them in the archives of history.
Okay, so he doesn't think it's okay to want to destroy Confederate monuments. He thinks that it's okay to just have them moved to museums and shit. Okay, never mind. He's not based.
They want them gone.
Cringe!
Because they are offensive. What started as a possibly defensible transitional period devolved consistently. After Confederate generals, it was Christopher Columbus. The movement made a transition to anti-colonization, while forcefully claiming and occupying, ironically, a section of Seattle under that guise. Then it mutated again.
Wait, does CHOP, aka Chaz, count as colonization? Do you think, like, clearing out and establishing yourself in a zone in Seattle is colonization? Who's getting colonized? The people of Seattle? Is that what this guy thinks colonization is? The native Seattle... What do you call yourself if you're from Seattle? Yo, chat. What are people from Seattle called? Seattleans or something? Seattleites? Seattleites, right? It would be Seattleites. Does anyone in chat know? We'll say Seattleites. Sounds kind of like a racial slur, but you know. So Seattleites are being conquered and colonized by the left-wing, leftist, anarchist commies that are establishing an autonomous zone in the middle of the city. Is that the irony there that you're pointing out?
Of George Washington were defaced, a founding father of this nation, without whom America would simply not exist. And if we trace
yes.
back through these recent hectic weeks, we can see that towards the beginning, the Lincoln Memorial had its steps vandalized. The president who fought a civil war against the Confederate generals whose statues are being torn down. How does that make any sense? How about Philadelphia?
I don't think the steps being vandalized is equivalent to the statue getting destroyed, but okay. Go off, King.
And the monument of Matthias Baldwin, an outspoken abolitionist who had his statue defaced with the words colonizer and murderer. This movement has no defined message. This is not an effort to eliminate any one social construct. It is anarchist anger that blindly lashes out at whatever is put in front of it. And
I don't think he knows what anarchism is. I think he just thinks anarchism is when you do anarchy and you destroy shit and cause chaos. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what this guy thinks anarchism is, which isn't surprising. That's probably most people's assumption.
By now, many people are probably thinking, I have completely derailed from the title and the topic, but bear with me, because all of this ties back into the reactionary tactic by Reddit, Twitch, YouTube, and...
I don't think he's using reactionary appropriately here, considering this guy is a reactionary, but okay.
Probably soon Twitter as well, to ban over 2,000 communities as a direct response to outrage and pushback that has been self-contradicting and changing since the moment it all began. Reddit is not doing this because those communities legitimately pose an existential threat to society. It is
Those communities have all been quarantined for as long as they've existed. Reddit has, they've been, the reason why a community gets quarantined on Reddit is because the communities consistently and repeatedly break Reddit TOS very often. So they quarantine it. They give the community an extra chance. Say, hey, moderators, clean up your act. You get everything in line with Reddit TOS, or you're gonna get banned. Then the day came when none of these communities wised up, and Reddit dropped the ban hammer. Simple as that, and axed them.
Is doing this because a movement predicated on outrage and control has demanded they eliminate the opposition. Simultaneously, though a direct link is not really visible, YouTube has suspended Stefan Molyneux, David Duke, American Renaissance, Richard Spencer, and about 25,000 more channels, some of whom are very outspoken conservative pundits or commentators with...
Conservative, huh? Conservative pundits? That's all? Nothing else you want to say about Richard Spencer and Stefan Molyneux? Nothing else you want to say? Nothing else you think might be relevant? Okay.
Real radical views, but many are not, and the synchronicity here is impossible to ignore. Now, there needs to be some clarity here. These platforms are currently in hot water right now with regards to Section 230 protections and their ability to censor or control what is and is not posted by their users. But as it stands, they are absolutely able and willing to pick and choose what content is made available. That is entirely within their right under current laws.
Yeah.
On a personal, very opinionated note, as it stands, I do not really fundamentally disagree with them defining terms of service and then enforcing them. The problem is when they consistently change those terms and react to social outrage with new policies that necessitate new bans, new cleanses, and new purges. What we see is a
Oh god. Okay, so the issue with this is that okay, this is really complicated to explain, but there are a lot of people who are bad actors that don't break the TOS in writing, right? So when you've got a website's TOS, like Twitch's TOS, right? There are a lot of people who skirt around it very carefully, and they more or less break the TOS constantly, but it's covert enough that they can get away with it a lot of the time. They don't really like break the rules directly, so that's probably what he's like referencing here. Like Twitch or Twitter having to ban people who don't exactly break the rules, but come really damn close, and they know what they're doing.
Consistent and devolving platform that will restrict with ever-increasing ferocity what is commonly perceived as unacceptable. But common perception of what is and is not acceptable has nothing to do with actual moral or ethical clarity, and everything to do with social norms. Somehow, some way, the modern social justice movement has convinced itself that the current snapshot of societal beliefs that they hold is paramount to perfection. This is the right way. Nothing previously was, and nothing in the future will be either, unless it supports what we believe here and now in this very moment. This becomes weaponized with boycotts, protests, and other forms of pushing their agenda onto big tech platforms, and the big tech platforms themselves are obviously swayed by these efforts, be it external.
So, people are upset about something, they go out and they protest, use their First Amendment rights to make their voices heard, and large platforms decide to capitulate to their requests. That is literally that's just how protest works. Why would you take issue with this?
External or internal. The result is that we see bans becoming widespread and normal, content purges that systematically shrink the circle of acceptable discourse, whether that be on or off platform in the case of Twitch, which has an official policy that off-platform actions can result in a suspension or ban on platform. We see constantly modified expectations.
Yeah, why not? If you are a Twitch partner, or you are someone who streams on Twitch, you have a responsibility to be on your best behavior so they don't see, because they don't look bad. It is in their best interest to make sure that the people who are representing their company aren't doing terrible, fucked up shit, even off platform, because that reflects poorly on them. It's like how were any of you guys ever in school and you would do something bad out in public and your teacher would find out? Like, let's say you did something bad while you were at the store with your parents, and your teacher found out, and you got in trouble at school for it while you were wearing uniform. Especially if you're wearing your school uniform, they would tell us this every day at the beginning of every school year. If you ever did anything bad outside of school while wearing a uniform or something like that, you'll get in trouble with the school because you are reflecting poorly on the school. I feel like this is something I learned in first grade. Is it really hard? Is it really that hard for people like this to, like, comprehend that idea?
Of what is and is not acceptable humor and acceptable statements in a way that contradicts itself more often than not, and almost always catches innocent parties in the crossfire who have no actual relation to what is now being targeted, whether that be a certain meme, a certain hand gesture, or any sort of symbol.
Is this the hand gesture? Is me doing this right now gonna get me banned from Twitch? Because I'm saying the OK sign. Is this going to get me banned from Twitch? Is that what you're referencing? Is it the Sieg Heil that you're referencing? What do you... Is this guy unironically saying that's a slippery slope to people getting banned for doing the OK sign? Is this what he's getting at here?
Symbolism or language. Let's bring it full circle now, finally. This may seem so far removed from the initial examples that it makes no sense, but when we remember that lack of clarity is a central pillar to this discussion, it all should become connected. Platforms are wielding the ban hammer like a machine gun right now, an absolute machine gun, with little to no clarity on why or who is next, while constantly changing what parameters they even operate by. To make things even worse, there are rampant examples of users and content that should, under existing guidelines, even if I disagree with those guidelines, they should be targeted, but they're not for some reason. Or perhaps, though, through a lack of communication, they are, but no one knows. When you have social discourse platforms reacting to public pressure...
He's given no examples of this. Mind you, the one example that he gave was, what was his name? He gave the example of Richard Spencer and Stefan Molyneux got banned, and then Ferociously Steph not being banned. Those are the examples that this guy has given. He has given no examples of somebody who should be banned under the current TOS who hasn't been banned. Why is he just saying that with no citation, not even a single example?
That public pressure literally evolves by the day. How can any freethinker justify that reality? The slippery slope fallacy should, at this point, to any competent human being, be proven as anything but a fallacy when applied to the shifting standards of censorship, banning, or deplatforming in modern big tech. Today, it's those 2,000 Reddit communities and those 25,000 YouTube pages. It's those streamers who have been accused of whatever it is they've been accused of, or those channels that have, who knows in some cases, but as of right now, apparently sometimes...
Everyone that he brought up were literal neo-Nazis or somebody who was accused of raping somebody. Just thought I'd point that out.
Times not the ones in power, executing abuses of the systems. Today, it is various creators who have strayed too close to the ever-evolving definitions of what is and is not against policy. And truly, if you take a look at the list of communities that have been banned on Reddit or channels that have been stricken from YouTube, it's a diverse cast of characters and personalities. It really isn't one-sided.
And they're almost all Nazis. Yeah, apparently you can disguise Nazism in a lot of really good ways. That makes it hard to tell what's going on. Yeah, ooh, very effective. It's what they do. But we had Atheism is Unstoppable, Stefan Molyneux, Richard Spencer, who else? Fuck, who was the other one? Obviously we had the gender critical subreddit, we got TERFs, we got Nazis, and we got Nazis getting banned. Hey, Slope doesn't seem too... and rapists, of course. Rapists have also been banned. Yeah, I don't think the, I don't think the slope has gotten too slippery yet. I think we're pretty good. I'm pretty sure we're on like a hard horizontal incline. I think we're fine.
It absolutely isn't. This isn't some kind of really well-defined thing that targeted a bunch of actually hateful individuals. This is a vast expansion on what they are getting rid of for really ill-defined reasons. But anyways, today it is various creators who have strayed too close to those evolving definitions, but tomorrow can be an entirely new set of users with no explanation, who up till that very moment existed within the confines of what was acceptable. And if you move the goalpost a foot every single day, eventually you aren't even on the field.
This isn't even happening. This isn't something that's happening
Anymore. Effectively, control itself is spiraling out of control because shifting expectations and evolving social norms for how one can speak, behave, or post content, when that evolution occurs at a faster rate than natural human behavior can be taught or modified, leads to an effect where clarity, stability, and safety are increasingly limited. There is a seemingly synchronized content purge taking place as of this video, right alongside some of the most nebulous creator bans I have ever seen in my entire career, and all of it paints a picture of control that has itself become uncontrollable. But that's it. I'll be doing a deep dive.
Okay, this guy's just said nothing. God, we just watched like a fucking 18-minute video that I paused a shit ton and stretched this out to an hour of a guy saying absolutely nothing. And when he finally does get to his like accusations, it's all off the false assumption that Dr. Disrespect was banned for nothing. And so if we follow the slippery slope fallacy and say, oh well, these Nazis were all banned, why wasn't Ferociously Steph banned for being trans and cringy on the internet? And saying that Nazis don't have power over her. Like, what? What is this? No. Social media censorship hasn't gone out of control. We're fine. We're good. We Gucci. Everything's fine. Calm the fuck down. Stop losing your shit, upper echelon gamers.